Hi, my name is Willa, and here is a slow flow sequence for you. So we're going to get started in child's pose. So moving from hands and knees, and then just taking your knees wider than your hips, toes together, knees out, shift your sits bones back towards your heels, and lower yourself down to the mat. So forehead towards your mat. Starting by bringing all that attention, awareness into your body. Noticing all those points of contact with the floor, grounding you. And then just starting to connect with your breath, taking good breaths into your whole rib cage, even into the back of your heart. And maybe as you start to watch your breath, it starts to slow down, even out. You can always come to child's pose when you need a break. We'll take a couple more good breaths here. And after your next exhale, slowly draw yourself up onto hands and knees. So getting yourself lined up, knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Starting with grounding. So pressing down through the knuckles of the fingers, tops of the feet, getting that response back up into the low belly. And then we'll start to move. With an inhale, tuck your tailbone, draw your guts up towards your spine. Drop your head. Exhale, lifting your tailbone, soften your belly, lift your heart. Inhale, tuck your tailbone, draw your guts up towards your spine, cat back. Exhaling into your cow. And then just take yourself through a few more of those going on your own. Just try to move slow. Keep that connection to the floor, that connection to your breath. Doesn't have to be the biggest movement ever. And come back to your tabletop, get your knees wide, and shift your hips back, lower back down to your child's pose. And take one more big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and draw yourself up towards hands and knees, and then draw your right knee towards your right wrist, so sitting up for pigeon. Create a little bit more height coming onto fingertips or fists. So it's making it active, getting that hugging inner thigh action going on, getting a little lift of your pelvic floor muscles. Really pressing down through your shins and trying to soften through your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Get your shin under you, plant your hands, tuck your back toes, press down to shoot your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Keeping your toes pointed at the floor. So active through the hands, lift through your shoulders. And gently lower that down. Lower down onto hands and knees. Shift yourself down and back. Lower down to your child's pose. Maybe it's a little bit more active. And you slide your hands forward and plant so your elbows come off the floor and drawing your sits bones away. Inhaling, draw yourself up through hands and knees, and then take your left knee towards your left wrist. So you can create that height coming up onto fingertips or fists, making that active base happen, hugging your inner thighs together. Getting that lift of your pelvic floor muscles, base of your core. That recruits all those other big core muscles. More good breath here. And get your shin under you, plant your hands, tuck your back toes, press down to shoot your left foot high, three-legged dog. Really press through your hands, lift through your shoulders. Keep lifting your heel. And gently lower that down. So landing in a down dog, you can widen your stance a bit. So press into your hands, lift through your shoulders. You can think about spinning your inner elbows forward. Lifting your tailbone. You can be still and take a couple breaths in your down dog or pedal out your feet if you would like some movement. And step your feet a bit closer together. Inhale, take your left leg high. And draw your knee towards your face, hugging everything in. Exhale, press back. Lower your foot down to the mat. Lift your hips and lift your right leg high, keeping your toes flexed towards the floor. Inhale, slowly draw your knee towards your face. High dome your back, hugging everything in. Exhale, presses back. And gently lower that foot down. You can separate your feet and roll forward to your plank. Really pressing the floor away, lifting through the back of your body. You can always modify your plank by lowering your knees or coming onto forearms. Big breath and shift up and back, down dog. And slowly walk your feet to your hands, taking as many steps as you need to get there. Making your way into your first forward fold. So feet about hip width distance apart, parallel, ground, and try to let your whole upper body hang, be heavy, let your head go. You could grab opposite elbow and sway bob side to side. Maybe give your head a little nod, yes, shake it, no. Grounding into your feet. Big breath, lift yourself halfway, so getting that foot to butt connection, draw your belly button towards your spine. Exhaling, bow forward. Bend your knees, slide your sits bones down and back, lift your chest, and sweep your arms out and up, sitting down into your chair. So trying to find that equal weight in the feet, pressing down through all four corners of both feet, getting that lift of your pelvic floor, the base of your core. You're finding some energy in your hands. And bring your palms together in front of your heart. Inhale, lengthening through your spine. Exhale, slowly twist towards the right. So drop your left shoulder down. Maybe your left knee comes forward a bit. Option to open up with your arms. Just try to keep your hips lower than your shoulders. Keep lifting through your heart. Maybe sink a bit lower. Exhale to press down to rise up. Reach your arms up. So grounding into your feet, a little sponginess in the knees. Lift your chest, maybe lift your gaze. Big breath. Exhale to sit back down. Chair pose, really reaching your sits bones away from your fingertips. And soften your gaze. And bring your palms together in front of your heart. Big breath. And slowly twist towards the left. Maybe your right knee, pistons forward. Option to open up with your arms, creating a big shape, a big wingspan. Always coming back to your breath, sensations in your body to help keep you here in the present. And make your way into your forward fold. And take one more big breath in your forward fold, in through the nose. Sigh it out. Ground into your feet. Big breath, lift yourself halfway position. Exhale, bows forward. Grounding into your feet. Big breath, reverse swan dive, coming up to your flat back, all the way up to standing. Urdhva Hastasana, hands overhead. And bring your palms come to touch. Maybe look up past your thumbs. And slowly bow forward. Stand strong through the legs. Grounding into your feet. Inhale, lift yourself halfway. Exhale, bow forward. Plant your hands and set back into plank. You can always modify by lowering your knees. Keeping your elbows in close to your body, slowly lower all the way to your mat. At the bottom, you can untuck your toes, root down to your pubic bone, tops of the feet, point your toes back, and roll your shoulders back, lifting your heart for your low cobra. You can kind of pull through your hands to create some traction, keeping the back of the neck long. Take another good breath here, and gently lower down. Tuck your toes under and press yourself up through hands and knees or plank to make your way up and back to your down dog. Really planting through your hands, lift through your shoulders, lift your tailbone. I'm trying to find that neutral spine. So a little lift in the tailbone, your cow back, and then a little cat back in your upper back, like someone's poking you in the solar plexus. Step your feet a bit closer together. A big breath. Lift your right leg high. Three-legged dog. Keeping your hips and shoulders squared towards the floor. And draw your knee towards your nose. And gently set your shin down. Spin your back heel down. You can let your right foot pop back behind you for a little kickstand. And then open up with your left arm for your knee down side plank. Really grounding into your base. If it feels okay, let that top hand fall back behind you. And take your gaze down to the floor. Move that hand a little bit forward and out to the side for a wider base. Press down to lift that back leg, reaching your left arm alongside your internally rotate. So inner elbow towards your face. It helps you engage your hand and your foot in some way. So you can stay here, reaching your fingers away from your toes, or option to bend your top knee and reach back for the top of your foot. Making sure you've got some core engagement, kind of press your foot into your hand. Might help to look down. And release your grip. Tuck your back toes, press down to lift yourself up, coming back into your downward dog. Step your feet a bit closer together, big breath. Lift your left leg high, flexing your toes towards the floor. Lifting your heel towards the ceiling, towards the sky, and slowly draw your knee in. High over your back, and gently set your left knee down. So setting up your base, spin your back heel down. You can let your left foot pop out to the side for a little kickstand. And open up with your right arm for your knee down side plank on this side. Really pressing into your base, rooting down. So you can get that lightness, upper moving energy going. It feels okay letting that top hand fall back behind you. And look down. So move that front hand a little bit forward and out to the side. Press down to lift that back leg, taking your right arm alongside your ear. So pressing down, hand reaching your fingers away from your toes. You can stay here or see about bending your top knee, reaching back for your top of your foot. Making sure you've got some core engagement. Maybe look down. Spinning your kneecaps away from each other. And carefully release that foot. Squaring yourself off towards the floor. Press down to lift yourself up. Come into your down dog. Using your breath to fill your shape. And step your feet a bit closer together. Lift your heels, bend your knees, step or hop to the front of your mat. Grounding into your feet. Inhale halfway. Really press those big toes down. And bow forward. Grounding into your feet. Big breath. Reverse swan dive. Coming up through your flat back. All the way to standing Urdhva Hastasana. So plant through your feet. Lift your heart. Making sure you're not locking out your knees, maybe widening with your arms. And bring your palms together. Maybe look up past your thumbs and slowly bow forward. So hips and then spine. Stand strong through your legs. Grounding into your feet. Big breath. Lift yourself halfway. Exhaling to fold forward and put your hands and step back into plank. So option to go through your flow, your choice of back bend or rest or skip it and go right to down dog. I'll offer up dog. So to shift on forward onto your big toes, lower halfway, spin your fingers out, untuck your toes, lift your chest. Staying super active. So pressing down through the tops of your feet, engaging your core, squeezing your shoulder blades together, reaching your heart forward, and dive your head through your shoulders to roll back to your down dog. Finding your breath. Think about trying to shift your weight back towards your feet. Step your feet a bit closer together. Big breath, sweep your right leg high, keeping your toes flexed towards the floor. And slowly draw your knee towards your face, high dome your back, and set your foot down wherever it lands. Making your way into a runner's lunge. You can create some height, coming onto fingertips or fists. Grounding into your base, staying active. And press down to unweight your hands and slowly rise up. So letting your arms drag, stacking your shoulders over your hips and reach your arms up. So palms facing behind you for your crescent lunge. Let your back knee bend, thinking about squaring your hips and shoulders forward. You're lightly drawing your pubic bone towards your belly button, lifting through your heart, finding your gaze point. Bring your palms together in front of your heart, big breath, and bow forward. Squeezing that back leg and twist towards the right. So drop your left shoulder down for a prayer twist. Keep reaching the crown of your head away from that back heel. Lift your heart. And keeping the same basic shape, just press down to lift your chest, opening up the arms. Let your back knee bend a bit for your revolved crescent. Try to let your shoulders fall down away from your ears. Good big breath. And slowly cartwheel your hands down either side of that front foot. Gently lower your back knee, untucking your toes. You can stay here or press down to lift your chest, lift your arms. Coming into your knee down crescent. You can press your palms together. So similar to the beginning, right? So pressing your feet down, getting that hugging inner thigh action going on. That pelvic floor engagement. Maybe look up past your thumbs, lift your chest for a little upper back bend. Exhale, bring your hands down either side of that front foot. Tuck your back toes under to lift that back knee. Moving your fingertips out in front a bit. Press down to shift your weight forward and lift your left leg high. Coming into a standing splits. Try to not worry too much about what it looks like. And gently lower your feet side by side, landing in your forward fold. Just letting your whole upper body drape. Let your head go. Ground into your feet. Inhale, lift yourself halfway. Exhaling, bow forward. Ground into your feet to reverse swan dive. Coming up through your flat back. All the way up. Urdhva Hastasana. So rooting through your feet. Spongy knees. Lift your chest. Maybe opening with your arms. Trying to be big. And bring your palms together. Maybe look up and slowly bow forward. You can always roll down too. That might be nice. Ground into your feet. Big breath, lift yourself halfway. Broadening through your collarbones. Strong through legs. And bow forward. Plant your hands and step back into plank. So option 2, rest. Go through your flow, skip it, go right to down dog. I'll offer up dog again. So just shift forward onto your big toes, lower halfway. Spin your fingertips out, untuck your toes, lower your hips, lift your chest. So core is engaged. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift your heart forward. Staying active through the legs and slowly dive your head through your shoulders to roll back. Down dog. Taking your gaze back between your feet. Please step your feet a bit closer together. Big breath, lift your left leg high. Keeping your toes pointed at the floor. Keep lifting through your shoulders. And slowly draw your knee in towards your face. So you can set your foot down wherever it lands. Coming into your runner's lunge. So coming onto fingertips or fists, right? For some height, some more space. I'm taking a couple good breaths there. One more good breath. Press down so you can unweight your hands and slowly rise up. So drag and let your arms drag. Stacking your shoulders over your hips for your crescent. And then sweep your arms up, palms facing behind you. So keep letting your tailbone sink down towards the floor. Keep reaching your fingertips up. Think about hugging everything in towards the midline of your body to help with balance. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Big breath. Bow forward, squeeze that back leg, and twist towards the left. Really reach the crown of your head away from that back heel. Lift your heart. Breathe. Inhale. Lift your chest. Open up with the arms for your revolved crescent. You're letting that back knee bend a little bit more. More good breath. And slowly cartwheel your hands down to the floor. So either side of that front foot, gently lower your back knee, untucking your toes. You can stay low. Or slowly lift your chest, right? Getting that hugging inner thigh action going on, that lift of your pelvic floor, and reach your arms up, pressing your palms together for your knee down crescent. So maybe you look forward, maybe play with lifting your chest, maybe play with lifting your gaze, looking past your thumbs. You always have options. And bring your hands down either side of that front foot. Tuck your back toes to lift that back knee. Walk your fingertips out in front. Press down to lift your right leg high. Coming into your standing splits. And slowly lower your foot down. So feet side by side, landing in your forward fold. One more big breath. Sigh it out through the mouth. Ground into your feet. Big breath, lift yourself halfway. Exhaling, bow forward. Ground into your feet. Reverse swan dive, come up your flat back. All the way up to standing. And relax your arms down at your sides. So we'll try this. Shift your weight more into your left foot. You can come onto your right toes. So really planting through your left pinky toe, big toe heel. Right? Getting your lift to the pelvic floor, and then see about lifting your right knee about hip height. You can have hands on your hips. Might help to flex your foot. So try to stay right on top of yourself. Really plant through that foot. Lift your chest. Lift through the crown of your head. And then we'll add on. So try taking your right hand to your sacrum to start the twist going. Help you stand up tall, and left hand to your outer thigh. You can stay here, right? Keep planting through your foot, keep lifting through the crown of your head, or maybe play with reaching your arms up. So left hand in front, right hand behind, maybe palms facing away. More good breath wherever you're at. And square back off. You can lower that foot down, so getting both feet on the floor, and we'll try the other side. So get your weight more into your right foot, right? So ground through your big toe, pinky toe heel, so you can come onto your left toes. Make sure you're not locking out your standing knee. That lift of your pelvic floor, gaze point, and slowly lift your left knee. Maybe flex your foot, so really plant for that standing foot. Try to keep your hips level, not hiking up. You can stay here or starting that twist. So left hand to your sacrum for some support. Right hand to your outer thigh. Lifting through your chest. You can stay here or take your right hand in front. Left hand behind. Some energy in your hands. Keep breathing. Lower yourself down. So one more balancing thing before we go down to the floor. So get your weight more into your left foot, right? Big toe, pinky toe heel. Bend your right knee. So get your knees side by side. Maybe point your toes. Try to beef up your hamstring. So get that core engagement. You can stay here. Reach back for your foot. Maybe that's enough, right? If it's enough sensation, you can always stay there. Or adding on, so switching your grip, grabbing for the inside of your foot, and then you can high five the air if you want to. I like reaching straight out in front. But start to kick into your hands, spilling your pelvis forward, dropping your chest down. Think about spinning your kneecaps away from each other. Your standing bow. Try to keep your gaze point rooted on one place and breathe. See where you go, right? And when you're ready to come out, just try to come out with some control. So just moving slow. Your knees side by side, release it. Both feet on the floor, and we'll try the other side. Just get your weight more into your right foot. So plant, big toe, pinky toe, heel. Bend your left knee. So you can try to beef up your hamstring, pelvic floor, gaze point. You can stay here or reach back for your foot. Maybe stay there and that's enough. That's a nice sensation, a nice stretch, or switch your grip to the inside of your foot. And then either high-five the air or reaching right out in front. And slowly start to kick into your hands. So spinning your kneecaps away from each other, lift your chest, and just go where you go. Keep planting through your standing foot. When you're ready to come out, just try to come out slowly. Just get your knees side by side, release your foot. Both feet on the floor. Equal weight. Big breath, sweep your arms out and up. And slowly bow forward. Stand strong through the legs. Grounding into your feet, big breath, lift halfway. Exhaling, fold forward. Plant your hands and step back into plank. The option to go through your flow, rest, or skip it. So shifting your hips up and back. Coming back to your downward dog. Spinning your inner elbows forward. Lifting through your shoulders. Take one good breath together in through the nose, out through the mouth. And step your feet a bit closer together. Big breath. Slowly take your right leg high, keeping your toes flexed towards the floor. And slowly draw your right knee towards your right wrist, setting your shin down, gently landing in your pigeon. So lower your back knee, untuck your toes, and come on onto fingertips or fists. Finding that active base, hugging your inner thighs together, engaging the muscles of your pelvic floor. So you can keep using your hands, or if you feel safe unweighting your hands, maybe bringing your hands to your hips, or stacking them on your low back to help with a little chest opening. Keep hugging your inner thighs together. Breathe. Get your hands back down. So plant your hands, get your shin back under you, tuck your back toes, press down to shoot your right leg high. Three-legged dog. And lower down. Down dog. Step your feet a bit closer together. Big breath, sweep your left leg high, lifting through your shoulders. And slowly draw your left knee towards your left wrist. So set your shin down, gently lowering everything down, untuck your toes. So come down to fingertips or fists, getting that hugging inner thigh action going on, that core engagement to help protect your low back. You can stay low or come up. Maybe hands to your hips for some support, or stacking your hands on your low back. One more good breath, this active pigeon. Bring your hands down, get your shin under you. Tuck your back toes, press down to lift your left leg high. Three-legged dog. And gently lower your toes to the mat. Last down dog. And gently lower your knees down to the mat, taking your knees wide, toes towards each other and lower down to your child's pose. Option to bring your palms together and bend at the elbows so your fingertips point back behind you. Couple more breaths here. And slowly make your way up, back to your comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. Cross your legs, maybe kneel. And close your eyes if you'd like to, or just lower and soften your gaze. And please bring your palms together in front of your heart. We'll close with wishing, may I be free from suffering and the causes of suffering, and may all beings be free of suffering and the causes of suffering. Thank you for sharing your practice and your light with me. Namaste.